Hi, I'm Teresa Duncan.
And I'm Kevin Henry.
Welcome to Chew on This.
We are excited to bring you our views of current topics in the dental industry and put a little different spin on them, giving you something to chew on.
If you need to jump off, be sure to check the show notes for links as well as how to get in touch with us.
And now, let's give you something to chew on.
And we are back with another episode of Chew on This. K-Dog, what's up?
It's a musical. I love it. It's not Hamilton, but it's darn close, let's be honest.
It's really not Hamilton. So, yeah. And I have not seen Hamilton. I know you've seen Hamilton. I'm late to the show always because I saw Wicked finally, and I think you had seen Wicked like 20 times by the time.
I've seen it way too many times. I have, but
yeah, it's a very good show. I would love to see Hamilton, so that's on my to-do list.
There you go.
Do that, but yeah. And for those of you that are not aware, those are Broadway shows that we try to get to, and then I find, this is what happens: is I have all the plans to go to shows when I'm in different cities, and then at the end of the day, I go, "Oh man, my bed is like the best show going." Yeah.
It's so comfy, let's be honest.
I can't tell you how many things I've like flaked out of because my bed is like.
So what's your favorite musical? Now I gotta know. I mean, now that we're talking about
it. I loved the Carol King.
Oh yeah, Carol King.
That one. Was it Carol King? Yeah, I saw that in Chicago with some friends. But I think the best show for me, musical-wise, was not a Broadway show. It was actually the Elvis show on Cirque du Soleil. It was a Cirque du Soleil, and it's not in production anymore.
That's right.
And I think they did such a good job. And I'm not a huge Elvis fan, but my gosh, they did a great job. I actually bought like the music and all of that. But is Wicked still the top one for you?
Wicked's still the top one for me. I love the messaging and some of the lines I drop in conversation about every day. So the most celebrated are the rehabilitated. It's my favorite.
Wow. Now look at this. Who knew you were so musical, so cultured?
I am the heterosexual male who enjoys musicals. It's what I do. So, but, and I will tell you, Greatest Showman, fantastic. If you've ever seen it with Hugh Jackman.
Actually, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
he does a really good job there. I'm not a big fan of the musical singing and stuff just because I'm always like, get to the action. But, with the musical, that is the action. So I have to temper my views a little bit.
I got to tell you a quick story. So our mutual friend, Rita Zamora, her amazing husband, Michael McClure.
Yes.
So Michael does not enjoy musicals in any way, shape, or form. And so when the Christmas season rolls around, there was the one Spirited. I don't know if you've seen that with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, no, I have not.
Okay. Well, if you like musicals, it's good. But I knew Michael didn't like musicals, so I told him, I said, this new thing's coming out. It's going to be fantastic.
You are so mean. Spirited.
Yeah. So about 15 minutes into it, I just get this text message like, you didn't tell me this was a musical. So
I can see him going, is this a musical?
Yeah.
This is a musical.
When Will Ferrell breaks out in song, you're like, yep, I'm in for the long haul now.
Yeah, I kind of think I would be the same way with you. I would be pretty angry. I'm not a musical person. I think the last one I truly enjoyed that wasn't a show was Grease. That was pretty much it, yeah. And for everybody listening, we now sound like the oldest people on Earth. So can we move on, Kevin? Can we move on to the stories?
Can I give you a happy story?
I would love a happy story.
And it has no music involved, at least as far as I know.
Oh, what a blessing. Go ahead.
Wow, that's hurtful. Anyway. Hey, and we don't even need a passport. We just need our Chew on This Corvette that we're going to drive.
Oh.
How about that?
We have a Corvette. I love this.
I didn't tell you I bought that with our funds. Sorry about that.
No, you need to tell me these things so I can get some sound effects going. Jeez. Give a girl a break. Jeez. No, go ahead. So why do we have a Corvette?
Well, I'm gonna swing over from Colorado, pick you up on the East Coast, and then we're going to Iowa in the Chew on This Corvette. How about that?
Very nice. I like this. All right.
If you build it, they will come. There you go. Anyway, let's go to the University of Iowa Dental School. And what is going on there? A very cool story, and we will, of course, link to this in the show notes. Okay. But John Pace, who is now 50 years old, and by the way, not old at all, just 50, he'd always wanted to be a dentist, Teresa. Always.
Oh, okay.
And, in fact, so much that 30 years ago, he put in his first application to go to the University of Iowa Dental School, and guess what?
Uh-oh.
Denied.
Wah, wah,
Womp
wah.
womp. 30 years ago, you had this dream, and all of a sudden they go, no. So he decided he put the dream kind of over here and he went into AI. He did all sorts of data sciences, things like that.
Oh, okay.
And then all of a sudden, you know what he decided?
Uh-oh.
I want
Go
to be a
back.
dentist.
Dental school.
By
At the
dental school. So 30 years later, he gave it another run, and guess what? He got in this time. And so the 50-year-old gentleman is now in there with the 20-somethings, and I'm sure they're having quite the generational debate.
I'm sure.
But, it's a great story, and there's a video in this link, and it shows him crying whenever he gets into dental school, and it
Oh,
talks about how that you should never give up on your dream. It's very inspirational. It's a very cool thing. So obviously, best of luck to him. But I got to be honest, the whole time that I was watching this, I kept thinking, if this guy had only been accepted 30 years ago, how much would he have saved
yeah.
in
Oh,
the cost
yeah.
of dental school? I mean,
Oh my
that just
gosh.
kept going back through my head. I'm just like, man.
Oh my gosh, you're right. So he's now graduating at the age, is he graduating now or he's going in?
Okay, so I'll be honest, I didn't exactly get that. They talked about his
Okay.
white coat ceremony, so
Yeah.
I'm guessing
That's got to be coming up,
it's got to
right?
be
If
coming
he's
up.
getting that.
Right. So,
For those of you that aren't aware, the white coat ceremony is given to doctors when they graduate. They get their white coat, and
exactly.
some of these graduations are pretty emotional because if you are in a family of white coats, a lot of times the doctor, mother or father, will be the one to be allowed to come up and give you your white coat. So it can be very, very
Big
emotional.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah, so very, very interesting. So at 50, let's just say he's graduating at 50.
let's do it.
Okay, so 50, you're graduating, and now you graduate with what is it now, $400,000 worth
Yeah,
of debt?
a lot of debt.
Holy
And
cow!
how much time? Now, granted, we don't know how much he had built up. He may be in a completely different situation. Those coming out of college and going into dental school, he may have had a little nest egg that he decided then to put into dental school. Don't know, but still.
So you go into AI data scientist, he probably did pretty well, right? And then to come in and oh my gosh. So if I have, and he had a family, I think I saw in the video he
Yep.
has a family. So if I'm the wife, I'm divorcing him immediately because I'm not taking on that debt, right? Like single man, we've been married, I love you, but let's just for taxes, let's just snip, snip.
Congratulations on getting dental school. I'm serving you with a divorce. Wow. Wow, Teresa.
You know what, though? Let me just say this. My husband and I are very tax minded. I really think Norman would be the one to suggest this. I think he would suggest it. He would
Awesome.
probably be like, oh, you know what? You're going to be responsible for these student loans. If we divorce and take out the loans in the name of a company, I could see this whole thing.
That's awesome.
So, okay, so 50 years old, he's out. Now he's got to go get hired. So you and I are both over 50.
We are.
We are. When you get to be over 50, the idea of a nap becomes very appealing. And so, when you're a new dentist coming out, you're already slow. I mean, you're just slow. So I'm slow and now I want to take a nap. So if this guy has energy, if he's kicking the Red Bull, like, God bless him for having energy.
Well,
It's almost like having kids at 50. Like, that's another thing I could never do.
that's true. And
You
I'm
know?
thinking that this is when the hiring becomes such an important thing because you have to hire. This is when you actually delegate. You say, you know what? I am going to go take a nap right now. And here, I live in a state where my dental assistant could do X, Y, and Z. Go get that done during this time. Schedule that. I'll be in a administrative meeting. So, it works out just fine.
This is a very brilliant train of thinking that you've got here. If you're a dentist who wants to game, if you're a dentist who wants to take a nap, you got to go to one of these states that lets assistants do
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So if you plan
talked
ahead,
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about the great state of Minnesota so many
mhm.
times, and Washington, and you find the state where the dental assistants have a lot of power, shall we say, to do things. There you go.
I'm going to get in contact with some Shine, Patterson, Benco reps and ask them, hey, do y'all sell lazy boys to those states? Like in the dental office, like the actual office. Is the dentist kicking back?
I've missed in the Shine catalog the Lazy Boy section, but maybe I should look a little closer next time.
Some of these dental chairs are legit.
Well, they
Like,
get comfy. Let's be
oh
honest.
my gosh, some of them have little massage fingers in them and stuff. And just a quick aside, my son and I went to a wedding. The lovely Michelle Affinado, we both know, is now Michelle Affinado Jackson.
Good
And
for
so she got married. We rented a Buick Enclave. And this Enclave, Kevin,
Yes.
has a massage feature in not only the driver's seat, but the
Oh,
passenger's seat.
oh boy. Oh,
So
I can.
I didn't even know about this because, when you rent a car, who reads the manual? So, but I accidentally hit it when I was moving my
There's
seatbelt
no
around.
surprise.
And all of a sudden I'm like, what? What is going on here? I'm driving down the road and I'm like, okay, this is nice. And then after 20 minutes, I said, Noah, I got to turn this off. I don't know how to turn this off. And then he starts moving around. He's like, oh, mine's going too. So we're both like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? So I have to say, Buick Enclave, a little pricey, but if you're looking for magic fingers while you're driving, might be a
So,
good investment.
so I shouldn't have bought the Corvette then. I should have bought the Buick Enclave. Is
Does
what
the
you
Corvette have massage? I mean,
Well,
they're
you
pretty
know,
pricey.
I've already picked you up and we've gone to Iowa and you didn't find it. So I guess there's your answer.
Yeah, you
There
don't
you go.
see me. You don't see me going, oh, in the seat. So no, there's nothing going on there. So one thing that I would like to warn this doctor about, though,
Yes.
is when you go into an office, you actually end up having to take care of the office, and you are at risk. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
Kevin,
no.
you're at risk of crime.
Oh, no.
So this doctor is in Iowa, right? So I don't
Yeah.
think he's going to be going anytime soon over to Seattle.
Well, unless he
Uh,
wants to get the lazy boy. But anyway, that's a whole other
but if
story.
he
Yeah.
were going to be in Seattle, he would have to watch out for certain areas of Seattle because there was a break in an office. Not just a break in, Kevin.
There's more.
3 times in one night. 3 times in one night. So I'm going to attempt to do the very advanced screen sharing here.
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't know if it's going to work, but we can try.
All right.
Okay, so here we
Oh,
go.
look at this.
Okay, there it is. All right,
Cool.
so let me just
Good
see
old
here.
Cairo.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Okay, so the break-ins were captured on surveillance video. So there's a picture of it there. Then they actually put out a social media post. This just happened, right? So they put out a social media post, which we'll link in there, and they're asking for help identifying the 4 suspects. They stole about $3,000 worth of items, and the owner, Dr. Stephanie Peterson, said this is not, unfortunately, the first time her business has been broken into. She says, this is very sad. She says, it just feels very violating and invasive. We work hard for what we earn, and then to have somebody so brazenly take that makes it difficult to thrive and survive in Seattle when we're working hard. And then she feels like it gets her back to square one.
Sure.
You've got school loans, business loans, all sorts of payments. She says she suspects the business broke into the business from the back door, but the building next door was also broken into. So these people are coming around with wire cutters, they said. They cut a bar open so they could go in.
Wow.
And they were able to break a key lock box and use a key to gain access to the entire building.
Oh, boy.
They had a key fob, so they were able to even open the garage. Look at this. A car pulled in. Do you see that? A car pulled in.
Wow.
And then they loaded stuff up. So what did they get away with? Let me just see here. Because, okay, they stole a safe, 3 laptops, 3 Sonicare toothbrushes, and Mendoza's iPad. She was able to track her device back after logging into her iCloud account, and she sees that the area that it's in is pretty sketchy. She doesn't want to go get it because she doesn't want to put herself in danger. She has filed a police report. So I will say, though, Kevin, I am impressed that they stole the Sonicares. So maybe this is a sign that thieves are aware that oral health is certainly important. And the iPad was just an aside. The safe was an aside. Really, the target of the break-in, could it have been the Sonicares?
It's the whole electric toothbrush black market that we've heard so much about for so many years, and it's rearing its ugly head yet again. It's horrible. Horrible.
Black market. The black market. You know what's really sad, though? There are things that are on a black market. Like there are things out there, but I'm not sure if Sonicare is on there. Perhaps Sonicares are the things to go to. But there, we have done shows about gray market products and things that you can buy online. Like I know X-ray sensors can be found, and even autoclaves and things like that. So, here's something interesting. I was talking to somebody who works for a very, very large company, large DSO. And she said the prices that they get on things like autoclaves and ultrasonics and things like that, they're so cheap. So like a regular dental office could easily pay up to $1,000 for a good sterilizer, right? She said that they can get sterilizers for like $200 each. And that's like insane.
Yeah.
So there's such a disparity in costs. So honestly, these thieves, if you break into a large DSO, it's not as big of a hit, it seems like. But a small office, so I'm just saying, stop with the small offices. Come on.
Oh, I
now.
agree completely. No, and I saw whenever you were showing the screen, South Lake Union, know right where that is there in Seattle. So
You do? Is it
do.
a little sketchy or?
Actually, no, it's actually a pretty decent part of Seattle. At least I think so. Yeah. Now, some Seattleites may disagree with me, but I can't help but think every time I think of South Lake Union that they used to have a train that ran through there. And it was, and I'm not kidding when I say this, it was the South Lake Union train. And you know what everybody called it for short? I'll let you put
dear.
Yeah. So they said they were going to ride the.
That's terrible.
I'm just throwing it out.
And if I were a teenager, I would be giggling. But that's
yes, you
terrible.
would. See,
Yeah.
I kind of giggle a little bit now.
So the train does not run anymore?
Well, they renamed it something, and so that took the acronym away, shall we say.
Thank gosh.
Yeah. They were all, hey, here's a great idea. And it's like,
No, but you got to wonder who actually named it because they had to giggle a little.
Oh, somebody giggled. Somebody.
Let's be honest.
Let's be honest.
So let's make sure this is a teaching opportunity in all seriousness. Yes. The fact is that, she had recordings and she was safe and all that. But what happens if you're somebody working late? What happens if you had been in there? It sounds like it was late at night, but we work late sometimes. I know there have been times when I got out of the office at 10 or 11 because I was making sure things were done. So the importance of making sure of knowing your surroundings and having good security systems and all of that. But what are we supposed to do when we come in and we see that things have been broken into? I mean, I'm guessing, let's kind of brainstorm. What are our first steps there once we do that? What do we do?
Well, hopefully you've taken a good inventory. I think it's always good for inventory to be taken, a couple of times a year. Anytime something new is brought into the practice, whatever that might be, make sure that that's listed there, not only for burglary, but if you lose your practice to a fire, flood, whatever it might be, you got to make sure that everything is inventoried there. But if you're working late, I've always heard about the making sure that you let security or police know, and maybe they do a little drive-by just to make sure that all's well. But yeah, it's tough whenever, as you said, these burglars had a key fob, so that makes it really tough because you can circumvent a lot of the things if you've got that key fob or an access code.
Yeah, and I mean, if you pull into a garage, you're not on the street, so even a cop driving by wouldn't see it. I mean, they basically have all the time in the world.
Yeah.
Here's one thing, and I don't think this is the case with her. I don't know enough to say if this is the case with that office, but I do know there's a lot of offices that let people go and don't change locks, don't change keypad combinations.
Yeah.
And so that's always really important because even though the person that you let go might be upstanding, they might have a, pretty shady son or daughter.
Yeah.
Well,
and it is something that, we know that not always goodbyes are fun, shall we say. So absolutely. I think make sure you change your password, your combos, whatever that might be. It's really important. For sure.
Wow. I hope that this doesn't happen to her again. I feel bad for Stephanie Mendoza as the operations manager. I feel bad for her and for the rest of the team there and hope that doesn't happen again. Like, honestly, a dental office is going to have technology. It's going to have products. So it's a pretty easy thing. So, I mean, and honestly, them taking pictures, if they get away with it, like if no one identifies them and they have all these pictures, like they're going to be feel very emboldened to continue to do it. So I hope something changes there.
I hope so too. Definitely something we'll be keeping an eye on, no doubt.
Yep. And so for our 50-year-old graduating dentist, congratulations. And take your iron, take your vitamin C, vitamin D, all that kind of stuff, because you're in the cranky age with us. No, but I think that's amazing. I mean, I think anybody that has a ton of energy like that at that age is just amazing. So.
His whole thing was keep following your dream, keep chasing your dream, and he did. So a feel-good story for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So congratulations. And folks, we will be back next episode with even more amazing stories for you. So on behalf of K-Dog, I'm signing off. See you later.
And that's a wrap for this episode of Chew on This. We hope you laughed and learned a little.
Check out the show notes for any links we mentioned, and don't forget to give us a rating on your podcast app. Feel free to drop us a comment on social media or by email if you have any suggestions for future topics.
We'll be back in about 2 weeks. See you then.